It's thinking about your end user and how to engage with them quickly in a very, very distracting world.
Then your audience attention is basically divided. They don't know where to look because there are two things that are important, right?
When you have as much experience as we have, you don't even really think about the composition. It's just there in the movements of your hand. It's like the rules are automatically applied in your muscle memory.
So the main thing when I think about film, or when I first thought about filmmaking or video production in general, that's all about creating an image, like shaping an image. Is there anything you can share about what makes a good composition?
Composition, so it's what makes up the frame. It's all the elements within a frame. And composition is there to guide people to the right part of that frame. You might use lighting a lot for this. A more contrasty area is more attractive to the audience as opposed to a less contrasty area. You might have a completely light background and a silhouetted figure in the middle. People are going to look at that silhouetted figure.
If I understand this correctly, right, and please correct me if I'm wrong, let's imagine we've got a white screen, completely white, and we put a black dot on it. Just a simple black dot.
Yep.
Then there's contrast between the white and the black, and people's eyes are drawn to that black spot. But let's say we put another image beside it, something else, a square. What could we use to draw the attention or make the audience change their attention from the circle or the dot to the square?
I mean, I can get into things like the golden ratio, Fibonacci, all those symmetry, stuff like that. But we don't have 4 hours to do this. But you can use something called the rule of thirds, and that's most people probably would have heard of this. It's probably the most well-known way of image placement, of composition. The sort of general practice is whatever you want the audience to look at, or what you're most interested in, you place within one of those thirds. I've always found the rule of thirds to be very binary, to be very artificial almost, because it's so exact in terms of the maths. And the saying, if you know the rules, you can break them. I tend to try and go for a more organic go-between, more central of the frame. As a camera operator, as a DOP, you have to kind of feel what the emotion should be that you want the audience to feel. When you have as much experience as we have, you don't even really think about the composition. It's just there in the movements of your hand. It's like the rules are automatically applied in your muscle memory.
Great.
And without saying it, that's the value of hiring people that know what they're doing.
Let's put the dot on a third as well, and the square on the dot. Then your audience attention is basically divided. They don't know where to look because there are two things that are important, right?
Yeah.
But then you can also use lighting. So the audience knows, like, I need to follow the light, I need to watch at the dot instead of the square. Is that correct?
Yeah, or you could be a bit more subtle and add a bit of backlight, a bit like here on me at the moment. Just adding some backlight to add a bit of depth makes it stand out more. It's about showing what's important. In my case, I'm what's important. So we've put the light on me, the backlight on me. The light in the background isn't as intense, as bright. So everyone's looking at me. And the same thing could be for that square or that dot.
Yeah.
I mean, you can get deeper into the theory. If the dot isn't as important as the square, why is it in the frame in the first place?
How can we make the audience focus on, for instance, the dot now?
So you can use focus. So focus being on the lens. So the depth of field. You can change the depth of field from the square over to the circle. And it's the size of things in frame as well. So You might do a shot of someone litter picking, for example. Litter picking in the street, a wide shot so you can see their whole body. And then you might go in closer on a piece of litter that they're picking up. And then that's showing the detail that this is important. This guy's picking up litter.
Yeah, so when we're talking about the square we've just used, of the background, the white background that we've just used, that's created at a 16:9 aspect ratio, right? That's a standard. That's basically the HD standard that we use. Why would you use that ratio, and are there any alternatives?
The way we visually consume everything has been built around it. So cinema has always been that wide landscape feel because that's how everyone sees the world. Like, we have that peripheral vision of wide, seeing the world like this. It's not as strong on the y-axis, but then you've got phones. So it seemed to have stemmed from people shooting, because being too lazy to turn their phone on its side than to just film it like that. And then more and more content was getting made that way, and you want to grab the audience's attention right away, right? So you don't want someone to have to turn their phone over to watch your video. You want someone to be able to just consume it straight away. It's thinking about your end user and what you want them, and how to engage with them quickly in a very, very distracting world.
So how do you feel about the 9:16 aspect ratio?
It presents new challenges. You still have to worry about lighting, the golden ratio, composition, contrast, but we're doing it in a fresh new way. So if this is the right way your target audience consumes it, then we should embrace it.
Thank you for watching. Today we've explored composition and how it helps with the audience attention, how you can focus the audience attention on a certain element within the frame. We hope to produce quite a few more of these little videos. So stay tuned. If you've got any topics you would like to learn more about, just head us up. We'll discuss it. We've got a few more ideas in the pipeline, but if you don't like it, don't watch it.
We'll give it a go.
We'll give it a go.